I'm really exposing myself right now. Like, I might be oversharing at this point. I might get in trouble for this story. So back when I was a freshman in high school, I loved anxiety sticks, if you know what I mean, an anxiety stick. And they were really popular back in my freshman days. And I thought I was so cool with an anxiety stick. I was like, hey guys, look at me and my anxiety stick. Like, what? But anyways, I liked these things and I was so addicted to them that I decided it was a good idea to bring them to school. Not a good idea. So it's an average weekday of school, and I had just gotten a new anxiety stick. So it's my gym class, my second class, and I bring my anxiety stick into the locker room. I go into the bathroom stalls in the locker room, and I'm like, time to take a hit. Time to smack it. As I go to smack it, it falls into the toilet. Now, what would any sane person do? Leave it in the toilet and flush it, correct? No, that's not what I did. I created a whole new disease and decided to take it out of the toilet, wipe it off, and smack it again. That is how you get sick. That is how you get a heart disease. That is disgusting. That is caca water. So I take it out of the toilet and I go to smack it again. And obviously it doesn't work because it was just in the toilet. When I take it out of my mouth because it wasn't working, smoke starts to expel from this. Like, so much smoke. It will not stop smoking. So I'm over here freaking out because now the entire bathroom stall is filling up with smoke. Like, there is smoke everywhere. It looks like there was a freaking fire. So I'm like, oh my God, what do I do? What do I do? And then it starts heating up. It is burning my hand. So I drop it on the floor because my hand is literally on fire right now. And there's so much smoke everywhere. So I put it on the floor and I stomp it with my foot really hard. And then it stops smoking and it stops heating up. As I'm stomping on it, guess who walks into the bathroom? My gym teacher. So I'm over here like, oh my God, I'm about to get expelled. I'm about to get expelled. She knocks on my stall and she goes, Kayla, are you in there? And I'm like, yeah. Literally praying to the gods. I'm like, oh my God, I'm gonna get expelled. Oh my God. She's like, okay, well, we're about to do warm-ups for gym, so hurry up. And I'm like, okay, I'll be there in a couple minutes. So I put the anxiety stick into my pocket. I go to my locker in the locker room and I put it in there. So 45 minutes later, I come back into the locker room after my gym period and I have so much anxiety because I already know that this thing started to smoke when I put it in my locker. I open up my locker, smoke. Phew. There is smoke pouring out of my locker right now. At this point, I'm on the verge of tears. I am so freaked out. So I grab my gym shirt and I just start swinging it everywhere, trying to get the smoke away. I pick up the anxiety stick. I bring it over to the bathroom. I throw it in the toilet and I flush it down the toilet. And from that day, I have never ever picked up an anxiety stick again. That was traumatizing, to say the least, because I'm telling you, if I got caught with that, expelled. I would not have a phone right now. My parents would literally, oh, you're done. You're done. That thing was smoking so much, it was like bad. And when it started to heat up, I cannot explain to you how hot that thing got. Don't do what I did. It's not worth it.
Okay, so I don't know if you're still taking paranormal stories for a future episode, but I figure I send in my experience. So my freshman year, I was in a triple dorm with two girls who I genuinely did not get along with. However, we are all united on the front that something weird/spooky was happening in our room. We were on the second story of our dorm building, and often we would begin to hear Jack and the Box music. We would go investigate with all three of us to see if anyone in the hallway was playing music or outside our window, but never found anyone. This would happen frequently. Other times, we would all be watching something on the television we shared, and suddenly books would fall from the shelves they had been on and the TV would glitch. One time while watching TV, it turned itself off and the TV stand shook and the flat screen fell over. After a few occurrences like this, we decided to tell our RA about our weird experiences together because we did not want to seem crazy. And she informed us that lots of people on the floors above us, but in the same room, had reported similar happenings to their RAs. The freakiest happening didn't come until we shared with our RA though. Our dorm room doors were on the hydraulic hinges, so no one could slam the door and they would shut slowly behind. This meant that no one could pull the door shut quickly. It simply couldn't be done. Every night we all triple checked the door being locked before bed because of how bad all of our anxiety was. On one night after we had all checked on the door and gone to lay down in our lofted beds, the door slammed open and was slammed shut again just as quickly. We all three screamed because it shocked and terrified us from not only the noise, but realization it should not have been physically possible due to the door being locked and the hinges the door used. Our screams were so loud that our RA and other people on our floor ran to see what was wrong and tried to open our door. It was locked again, just as it had been when we checked it before the incident. After the incident, we all struggled to live there. It was scary and my anxiety increased 100%. Small things happened here and there, like the Bluetooth speaker turning on and playing creepy classical music.
Oh no.
Shut up.
Despite my roommate being the only one connected to it with a password. Nothing like the door incident ever happened again, but my RA did share a picture of the ghost we all believed was haunting us from one of the residents that lived above us. I attached the picture here.
Oh, okay, let's
Wait,
see
I'm
it.
so scared
You
to
don't
see
want
this
to see
picture.
it? It's not going to be that creepy.
What if it is? You don't know.
Do you think it is?
It gives me the chills.
I want to unsee it. And I'm not even reacting. Oh, I want to unsee it, but I almost want to look again because I'm like, did I see that correctly? No.
Mexico, and my family is kind of wealthy. That's why we have a maid living with us who does the housework. She also has a daughter called Maria, who's 1 year older than me. We never talked much because Maria wasn't allowed to leave her small chamber unless she helped with the housework or had to go to school. I know we didn't treat her well, but a few months ago, she started giving me eye contact, and I always smiled back at her. I mean, she was quite beautiful. I even tried talking to her, but she was too shy and couldn't bring out a single word. But one Saturday morning, she came into my room to bring me breakfast. I told her, "Oh wow, that looks awesome. Thank you so much." That's when I noticed that she was wearing a rather revealing outfit. She put the breakfast on my bed, bowed down, and said, "Sir, can I do you any other favor?" Wow, I could see her bra, and it was so arousing. I offered her to sit down on my bed and eat the breakfast with me together. It was the first time we had a real conversation, and after a few minutes, she said, "It's very cold in here." I responded, "I'm sorry, the air conditioning is too strong, but you can come under my blanket." Suddenly, we were laying right next to each other, with my legs touching hers. I even put my hand on her thighs. Things were great until my mom came into the room. She saw us and said, "Oh my God, what are you doing? How can you sleep with a girl like her?" Maria was so embarrassed. She ran outside. Meanwhile, I tried to explain to my mom that we hadn't slept with each other. But my mom responded, "She only wants to get pregnant by you, so she gets our money." Wow, my mom always saw the worst in other people. No wonder, she was a terrible person herself. I mean, our maid was living with us for 5 years, and we still treated her like a worthless servant. My family didn't even pay for Maria's school fees. But I liked her a lot, and we started seeing each other in secret. I still remember the first time she came into my room at night. She was still shy and only said, "Hey." I stood up and said, "Wow, you look beautiful." But she was so nervous, she couldn't even look me in the eyes. I had never felt more aroused. She was wearing a short black dress, and I couldn't help myself. I put my hand on her wrist and pulled her towards me. Then I grabbed her hair, pulled it back, and kissed her. This was the first of many nights we spent together. But then it happened. She told me she was pregnant. I was confused and said, "But we always use protection. How could this happen?" She said she didn't know either. But I had a suspicion. Anyway, it was hard to tell my parents about the baby. Both of them freaked out, and my dad even wanted to throw Maria out on the streets. I was shocked and said, "No, I love her, and I want to be her boyfriend. She isn't as bad of a girl as you think." I guess my parents were disappointed I wouldn't marry a girl from a good family. But I really didn't care. Maria was a lovely girl, and she was carrying my baby. However, in the first few months of our relationship, I learned that we were quite different. I don't want to sound arrogant, but Maria was less educated than me, and I didn't enjoy talking to her much. I still tried to be a responsible dad, but when I turned 18, I went to my first party. It was so crazy with all those beautiful girls. I stayed faithful that night and didn't kiss or sleep with another girl, but afterward, I started having doubts about my relationship with Maria. Maybe I wasn't ready for a family, and things got worse when I went to university. There were so many pretty girls, and many of them were flirting with me. Couldn't take it anymore, so I went to Maria and said, I know you'll be angry, but I want an open relationship." She started crying and said, "No, that's not fair." But I responded, "I'm just too young for a serious relationship. I'm sorry." I knew I was a douche because Maria had no choice. She couldn't leave me because she had no money. She was dependent on me. And as horrible as it sounds, I kind of like that because it made me feel powerful. Well, after Maria had given birth, my parents rented us a small apartment next to my university where we moved in. But I partied often and even brought girls home. And yes, I took them into the same bed my girlfriend was lying in. She would act as if she was asleep most of the time. But one night, I was drunk, woke her up, and asked if she wanted to join us. But she just started crying and ran outside. That ruined my mood, and I apologized to her afterward. Gosh, I knew I was such a jerk, but I still continued. One of my favorite girls I was dating was Mathilde. She was well-educated and funny. I told her I had an open relationship with my girlfriend, and then I asked her if she wanted to move in with us. She was reluctant at first, but finally agreed. It was so awkward when I introduced her to Maria. I said, "Maria, this is Mathilde. We've been seeing each other for a few weeks now, and I want her to become part of our relationship." I could tell Maria was angry. Of course, she wanted me all for herself. But that wouldn't happen, and a three-way relationship was still better than me breaking up with Maria. Then I pulled both of them close to me, and we all kissed each other. Gosh, it was one of the most exciting moments of my life. But it got even better afterwards. We also all slept in the same bed, which I loved, but they didn't get along so well and often insulted each other. Their conflict escalated when Mathilde accidentally used Maria's towel. Maria freaked out, and they ended up physically fighting each other wearing short pants on my bed. It sounds terrible, but it aroused me to see them fight over me. However, I still broke up the fight to make sure no one got hurt. In the end, Maria and I decided it couldn't continue like that. And now my parents are paying her $1,000 each month to rent her own apartment where she raises my daughter. I take care of my daughter on the weekends, and I really enjoy being a dad. But university is more important right now, so I can find a good job one day and provide well for both my daughter